for race 1 of the 2022 Virtual Formula 1 season. Brand new era of cars and some new drivers on the grid. I'm excited to see how this season shakes out. Here's the starting grid real quick. Starting on the front row is Max Verstappen, the defending champion, along with Charles Leclerc. On row 2, it's Carlos Sainz along with Sergio Perez. Row 3, it's all Mercedes. It's Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. And Russell was his first race for Mercedes. He's one to definitely look out for. In row 4, it's Fernando Alonso and Valtteri Bottas. And in row 5, it's Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda. Row 6 is Lando Norris and Kevin Magnussen, who's back, replacing Nikita Mazepin. And in row 7 is Pierre Gasly and Mick Schumacher. In row 8, it's Daniel Ricciardo and Zhou Guanyu, who is new to the grid. Sebastian Vettel and Alexander Albon, a familiar face. He is back on the grid after being dropped from Red Bull. Lance Stroll and Nicholas Latifi rounding off the grid in row 10. And we're about to get things started here. So there they go, the lights. 5 red lights are out. It's time to go. Verstappen with a good start. He's going to get away. He's got ahead of Leclerc. Has the line that he wants to for turn 1. All clean so far. Side by side as they go through turn 2. Nope. Verstappen has them cleared. Perez is up to P3. Russell up to P5. Magnussen's up to P10. A Haas looking very strong compared to its last year's form. Here's Russell. He's trying to get past Sainz. Ferrari probably the strongest team in terms of performance this year. It's definitely going to be a two-way fight, or maybe even a three-way fight if Mercedes can get their car back up to where they want it to be. Here's Mick Schumacher. He's up to P13. Trying to get Alex Albon, who's in P12 in a Williams. The Williams not looking very strong this year, but Albon making it look a lot better than it really is. They're in P12. And we can also see McLaren is not doing well at all. P14 and P18. Not a strong quality, just not a very good weekend to start out this new era of Formula 1. Here's Schumacher's going to try and get past Albon here. Maybe he can get some slipstream. Not using any of his ERS though. No battery deployment. Here's Lance Stroll. Can he get around Daniel Ricciardo, who has struggled ever since he got to McLaren last year? I know many people were expecting Ricciardo to do extremely well with one of the top teams in the sport at the time. But that has not been the case, and he has been really just demolished by his teammate consistently, Lando Norris. 3 wide, there we go to turn 1. It looks like a little bit of contact, but they all seem to be okay. Albon is down in P20 by the looks of it. He's going to go ahead and go into the pits, perhaps with some damage. He's coming out in P20 though. Here's Verstappen and Leclerc. They're kind of battling it out. It's going to get a lot better, I have a feeling, when DRS is available to Leclerc. So we see it's Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez so far on the podium. But it's very early. That's going to definitely change, I have no doubt. And also, no more rule that says that you have to start the race on the same tires you qualified on. That rule is out the window, so now all the top 10 guys are now allowed to go with the medium hard strategy, which seems to be the better strategy most of the time.
Yeah, and you can see Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc on a whole different level here, as they're already in a second gap between Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc. It looks like the two Alpines are breaking apart from the front of the pack too, the Mercedes.
Yeah, I can see Kevin Magnussen is in P9. This could be the first time Haas gets points since I believe 2019. If not 2019, then 2018. I think it's 2019 though. No points in 2020. Actually, yes, they did get points once. 1 point finish in 2020. 0 points finishes in 2021, as they finished 10th in constructors. So very bottom of the field last year, as they were focusing on this year's car, and it seems to have paid off so far. See, they brought back Kevin Magnussen. No more Alkali or Nikita Mazepin, as they have ended their partnership after the Ukraine situation.
And you can see the pack cars already forming the back markers with Lando Norris leading that pack, and then Alexander Albon obviously pitting. He's already 23 seconds behind, but he is on fresh softs, and tire wear is very bad at this track, so these drivers are already losing time to Alex Albon already.
Yeah, he's definitely pretty he's pretty far behind, but he's gaining time, as you can see on the intervals, despite being in a Williams. But then also you have to consider Ricardo is on the hard tire, so that could play a factor.
Here we go, first DRS straight away out of the pit straight. It seems like Max Verstappen is using overtake to stay in front, and Charles Leclerc can't do much about that.
Maybe he's gonna have it on the second straight though. Can he get the move done with slipstream? And probably the strongest engine on the grid.
Like Sebastian Vettel and Lando Norris going side by side here.
Yeah, side by side to turn 1. But Vettel has the position and Norris has dropped down to 14th.
And let's see that replay of the attack on from Vettel. It seems like he just had the DRS there using overtake around the right side, down the inside, and then Lando Norris couldn't do much about that as he's on a hard compound tire.
Yeah. So it looks like both McLarens on the hard tire. Let's see if that strategy works out compared to the medium hard strategy, or the soft medium strategy, I believe is what the other one was. The one with the soft tire runners like Gasly, and I'm pretty sure Vettel was on that strategy as well.
You can see Pierre Gasly getting very close to the back of Lando Norris, as well as Lando Norris has already lost time to Sebastian Vettel and is about to crawl out of DRS range of Sebastian Vettel. So see if Pierre Gasly can get an advantage on that here. So he's using overtake.
He's got the DRS.
Not going to do much though. As he cheers off overtaking, he's just going to save his DRS here.
He's gaining time though. He had the DRS, had the slipstream on Norris, so he might be saving a move for possibly the home straight.
And Lando Norris is already now out of DRS range of Sebastian Vettel. So Pierre Gasly is definitely going to be able to get a move done here on the pit straight.
Yeah.
There you go, Zhou Guan Yu, a rookie, is in 16th.
Here's Gasly getting a move done on Norris.
On the right side, as Lando Norris can't do much about that same move as Sebastian Vettel did on Lando, as he tries to go for a switchback, but he couldn't do much about that.
It looks as if he has the DRS here on the second straight. Can he return the favor and get Gasly? No, he cannot. Just simply not as effective on the second straight. If he can just stay within range though, he could possibly get a move done after turn 10, which is the third and final DRS zone of the lap.
So let's check on those leaders again here, as Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc are still running away with this Grand Prix.
Yeah, big gap between Leclerc and Perez. 2.5 seconds, and it seems to just keep on growing. Let's see what tires Perez and Sainz are on. So medium, okay. And I believe Verstappen and Leclerc are both on mediums as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here we go. 5/10 is the gap now with DRS. Now he's using overtake this time to get a better run out of that corner, but now he turned it off. So let's see here what he does.
Will the DRS be enough to get Verstappen? Not by looks of it, but he's gonna have another
It seems like
straight.
pit stop strategy will have to be what Charles Leclerc relies on here. And we'll see what happens.
Here we go, DRS once again for Charles Leclerc. Can he get a move done? No, he can't.
Seems like a bit of squabbling between the two Mercedes a little bit there.
Yeah, see, they got the newcomer George Russell in P5 and the veteran 7-time champion Lewis Hamilton. So it's the young guy and the veteran. And
these front runners are just running away with this Grand Prix.
yes, they are. We can see normally it has been Mercedes for the past, what, 7 years, but, or sorry, 8 years. But really it's just not happening this year or last year. Mercedes have really just kind of been on a downfall.
We can hear over the team radio, Kevin Magnussen has a little bit of a problem with his car.
Well, that's not good for Haas. Very strong race so far for Haas, P9 and P12. This would have been literally a dream for Haas last year, but that just never came true, as the car was just simply incapable of doing that.
And so does Sergio Perez, as he's reporting a little bit of a problem with the engine.
I mean, that's not good for either. So we got a Red Bull powertrain and a Ferrari powertrain. Both those teams in the top 10, that could move that could move Tsunoda and Schumacher up to the points if those issues turn out to be a big problem.
Now, if they turn out to be terminal, that will be horrible for these teams. Because Kevin Magnussen, the only Haas with points. So if he retires, he's going to be taken out of this Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And no points for there. As Nicholas Latifi goes for a move there down the inside on Lando Norris. Lando Norris will defend. Let's see the replay there. Oh, it seems like he was trying to get by Zhou Guanyu.
He got Zhou, but I think he tried to get Norris as well, but just wasn't able to complete the dive bomb.
Oh,
Norris
yeah,
really locked up, you could
that's
see.
what made him push into the move.
Yeah.
Nicholas Latifi will hold position now.
See if Latifi can get him here.
See, 3/10 is the gap. He decides to stick it behind though. He's really losing time to Lando Norris, or they're really losing time to Pierre Gasly because Lando Norris is on those hard tires.
Yeah. So it looks like soft, medium, medium strategy. 2-stop strategy for Latifi. We'll see if it pays off.
Or a soft hard or a hard soft, because that is the predicted pit stop strategies are soft hard soft, or soft medium medium, or soft hard. So those are the pit stop strategies that we saw in the formation lap.
Yeah.
But it seems like that.
Let's go ahead and see if Leclerc can get a move done here while we're looking at him. DRS.
Less of a gap, or more of a gap, so I don't think he'll be able to get him here, but possibly for the next straightaway, as it's 3/10 now. We're catching up to the pit stop time, as Nicholas Latifi is now side by side with Lando Norris once again.
He's got him.
And he will have DRS as well, so Zhou Guanyu now possibly going to remove that Ferrari powered engine. Maybe down the inside here, heading into turn 1. It's very close to the rear wing, but nothing could be done there. Let's go on board Yuki Tsunoda, as he's getting pretty close to the back of Valtteri Bottas, really carrying that Alfa Romeo into the points. Seems like they have a very good car, just that Zhou Guanyu cannot handle it very well.
Yeah, Guanyu is his very first race in Formula 1, and he's gotten lucky. Probably one of the top 5 cars on the grid in terms of performance and probably looks as well. It's a very pretty looking livery right there for Alfa Romeo, but sadly does not help you with speed, and Zhou Guanyu has really shown that. Norris is dropping down. Is he perhaps in the pits? No.
Oh no, something happened heading into the tight, weird braking zone.
Turn 10.
Turn 10 and 11.
At turn 10, just looks like
he just went off track.
I think he went too deep into there.
And then he came out right behind his teammate with no DRS. So seems like the two McLarens are now back markers here, 18th and 19th.
Yeah, I mean, third 10.
It looks like Sergio Perez.
Oh yeah, Perez
has now turned into a massive problem as he's going to DNF in this Grand Prix. No safety car will be called as stewards think that it is safe enough. He's very close to the pit lane. I don't know why he didn't just coast through there, but at least it's close.
Yeah, Perez.
So 19 cars now in this Grand Prix.
A very disappointing end to the Grand Prix for Perez. And for Red Bull as well. Red Bull now is relying on Max Verstappen to just keep them within reach of the Constructors' title. They'll still be behind. But, man, they really need to win here. Now here's Leclerc with the DRS and not really using much of his energy. Still on medium deploy.
Up to try and attack a different point of this Grand Prix as well. That will let Yuki Tsunoda now be in points.
Yeah, he's now in the points. And if Kevin Magnussen's issue turns out to be a real problem, that would bring Schumacher up into the points as well. That would be the first points finish of his career.
Yeah.
Magnussen.
Not that much battling here. Although it is a wide track.
Magnussen has not raced since Abu Dhabi of 2020. That was the last race that he raced up until now. He did not race last year, as he was replaced. He and his teammate Grosjean at the time were replaced by Nikita Mazepin and Mick Schumacher. Mazepin coming on as kind of a pay driver there. But they dropped him, so now Magnussen is back, and he's really showing Haas that he can still drive a Formula One car very well.
So Yuki Tsunoda, the Honda Red Bull engine is not really working out here for against the Ferrari, because he had DRS and using overtake. He still could not even get close to the back of Valtteri Bottas.
It looks like maybe too much drag possibly too, as the AlphaTauri. I think it seems like it had a lot of drag there in testing. I don't know.
Two McLarens falling back a lot here. That's not good for them, as it looks like the Mercedes are actually catching up to the back of Carlos Sainz. A little bit of a DRS strain going on here.
Yeah, Russell and Hamilton, still not really much happening between the two of them. Russell, remember, Mercedes was basically pressured into dropping Bottas and replacing him with George Russell after some very strong performances that Russell had in the Williams. Notably, one of them being P2 at Spa, even though it was only a 3-lap, ended up only being a 3-lap race and only half points were awarded. He still got P2, and I think that's the highest finish Williams has gotten in
we see some battling
long
going
time.
on with Zhou Guanyu and Nicholas Latifi. As it seemed like Zhou Guanyu had the DRS there and went around the outside of that corner and then down the inside of the flat out corner. But here we go, Nicholas Latifi with DRS now and very close to the back of Zhou Guanyu. Let's see here. What is gonna happen?
Can he go to the right side? No, left side, switchback. Can he get him around the outside? I don't think he can in the Williams.
A bit deep, but he does have the inside now.
Oh, he got him.
Squeezes out
Latifi.
Zhou Guanyu.
Latifi up to P14.
And they tied in the DRS zone, so Zhou Guanyu won't get DRS either, as that's Lance Stroll going for a move now on Zhou Guanyu. They're now side by side. Here we go, helicopter cam heading down into the S's. Seems like Lance Stroll will get ahead though, for the time being. No, Zhou Guanyu's still battling it out here down the inside. And oh my gosh.
Still side by side.
Going wide, did you see that?
Neither of these two willing to give in. It
And
looks,
oh! Zhou Guanyu going wide.
Zhou is pushed wide. Does he have the DRS? Yes, he does.
Here we go, McLaren getting a way better run. He's gonna probably go down down the inside here with the hard compound tires. There,
Contact!
And there goes the front wing end plate on the right of Zhou Guanyu's. And he's gonna have to repair that one. And Daniel Ricciardo went a bit too deep there. Let's check out that replay there.
Let's go on board with Zhou, just see what it looked like from his perspective.
Yeah, he just hit the front tire of Daniel Ricciardo's, and that's what caused the end plate to go away.
Yeah, I think some experience kind of factored into that. I considered a racing incident. Maybe a little bit of fault goes to Guan Yu, but I don't know. It's tough to tell, but definitely not either way. Not a good thing there for Zhou.
Now Lando Norris with the DRS off of him.
He's gonna dive into the pits.
Massive lockup in the pits as well. Really drove on you, and let's see the pit stop.
So can they pull off a good pit stop here? Not very fast, obviously, as they have to put the new front wing on. There they go.
It looks like Alex Albon will get ahead big time. And that will not help Zhou Guanyu at all.
So Verstappen and Leclerc still battling it out here on lap 12. You can see like closer racing is very possible as we have kind of a DRS train here. Last year's cars probably, in my opinion, looked a little better, but definitely weren't capable of this kind of racing side by side almost the entire race. Schumacher P11 kid Haas get a double points finish to start out 2021 or 2022 after an abysmal 2021 season.
Close goes Charles Leclerc heading down into turn 1. Sorry for cutting you off there. Let's go back to Yuki Tsunoda and Valtteri Bottas.
See if Tsunoda can get Bottas. Doesn't look like he can.
And it seems like Bottas will be able to get into DRS range in a few laps. This is where the pit window opens for most drivers. 13 and 14 is when all the soft runners pit, and then they go into the hards or the mediums. Mediums to go for another stop, and hards to go to the end of the race. So we'll see what happens here. And we'll see if Alex Albon can jump any of them as well.
Let's go ahead and check on the battle for first place, which is probably one of the closest battles. Definitely the most meaningful battle of the race. Yeah, it looks like Verstappen commanding lead. Not too commanding, but he just seems like he's been holding this same lead for a long time, really able to hold Leclerc off. Leclerc seems to have the better car. Ferrari looks like their car is better pace-wise, but Verstappen, just his pace is probably some of the greatest pace we've ever seen.
A little bit of contact there. What happened there from Lance Stroll? He just got the run. Tried to go around the outside, but he broke way too late.
Yeah.
Went a bit off track there.
The two Canadians just unable to both kind of get there cleanly, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Notice McLaren, they finished P3 in the constructors, I think, last year. They were P3 or P4. Very strong last year, but now their two drivers are battling for 15th place. Not even points. So
yeah,
this is
not helping them out at all.
No, the McLaren not strong at all this year by the looks of it. I don't know what's going on with those two. But yeah, that's just not a good way to start it. A beautiful livery that really took the Gulf colors and really put them on there. Because their Gulf livery in 2021 at Monaco was very popular. They decided to do more with that. It looks beautiful, but the livery, sadly, like I said earlier, does not give you any pace at all. And it's showing right now as they continue to battle for P14.
Side by side for a very long time as well. That's Lance Stroll diving into the pits, and so is Nicholas Latifi. on their pit window.
It looks like 3 people pit: Latifi, Stroll, and Zhou.
And here's like Alex Albon is also big time jump. The massive undercut there.
Yeah, but we'll see if that strategy there for Albon pays off in the long run.
So let's see these medium runners, the battle for the lead here. And it seems like if DRS was not enabled, it would probably be a very easy fight. Verstappen would have gotten ahead and bridged a very massive gap. So these two are side by side, squabbling with Zhou Guanyu, Lance Stroll, and Nicholas Latifi. There's Zhou right behind.
DRS for Latifi and Zhou.
And it seems like Kevin Magnussen's now in the pits.
Yeah, let's see if this is a good stop here for the the only American F1 team on the grid.
Oh, and Pierre Gasly's changing his front wing.
Oh man.
That's going to be a slow stop for him.
Second year in a row he's had front wing damage here in the opening Grand Prix of the season.
And I believe we'll let Alex Albon jump him. We'll see here, it's going to be very close. Now heading out of the pits goes Pierre Gasly. And it'll be an easy jump for Alex Albon.
But Gasly though, despite being on hards, his tires are fresher, but right now they're colder, but they are fresher.
Very, very cold. And they will not be able to warm up as quickly as the softer mediums will.
Yeah, this track to track where tires don't warm up too quickly. And with the colder tire blankets now, like the tire blankets are not allowed to be as warm as they were last year, so you can't just come out of the pits right away with the same pace or better pace than you had the lap before you pitted. Here's Leclerc. Is he gonna go for a move? No, he's not. Let's keep it on board with him though.
He's not using any ERS, and that's not helping him.
Let's keep it on board with Leclerc. He could get a move done here. No, maybe not.
Yeah, no ERS being used, and that's just really slowing him down. If he had ERS, he probably would have been able to make multiple moves, and this would be a very entertaining battle, but he seems like he's just really saving his ERS.
Yeah, it seems like that's probably the strategy that they're using. They're probably not going to battle super hard until the end of the race when it really counts, but you never know. Verstappen really, he always wants to lead the race, no matter where he is, no matter what point in the race. He always wants to lead the race. That could be why he's such a great driver. Schumacher comes out of the pits now. Can he jump Magnussen?
And he overcuts Magnussen and Sebastian Vettel.
But Magnussen could be able to still pass him on the warmer tires.
Yeah, definitely.
Who's gonna get the DRS here on this straight?
Side-by-side racing is not helping them catch up to Mick Schumacher whatsoever, though.
No, but with the cold tires, it does definitely help a little bit.
Sebastian Vettel now on those softs.
You have to kind of stick behind the Haas. Aston Martin not looking super strong this year. And testing their power rankings came out. They were the 9th best performing car. So yeah, not very good for Aston Martin, who finished, I believe, they had a very good year in 2020 as Racing Point.
Yeah, copying the Mercedes brake ducts, and that helped them out and really gave them a massive advantage over the other midfield drivers.
Yeah, they really kind of just used the Mercedes car, and they got fined for they got penalized for copying the brake ducts, and that cost them P3 in the Constructors' Championship, which ended up going to McLaren.
They're really contesting for multiple podiums, rarely missing out on top 5.
And I mean, Sergio Perez won a race here at this track, just at a different layout. The outer layout, which is more of an oval, I guess you could say. That's what many people were calling it.
The replay here is it looks like Sebastian Vettel had the run here on Kevin Magnussen, but Kevin Magnussen stuck it around the outside as he went from pit to pit.
Oh yeah, great defense there by Magnussen. Is Magnussen gonna get DRS? Yes, he is on Schumacher. Schumacher is gonna be probably a sitting duck, considering he's got no slipstream. nothing to help him out aside from his own engine and ERS.
Yes, now they're crawling their way back into DRS range of Mick Schumacher. And it looks like they're about to get lapped within about 10 laps time by these two leaders who are just running away with this Grand Prix. Yeah, it's going to be a double podium for Ferrari so far because of that retirement from Sergio Perez. So 3/10 now is the gap, 2/10. And there's going to be
Leclerc
no move.
does not want to go for the move. He probably could have pulled off a dive bomb possibly and gotten it done, but I believe he probably just thinks it's too early in the race for that, and I do agree. It's probably a little too early for that. If he can fall behind for so long like this and end up maybe jumping Verstappen in the pits and end up running away with it, that could work out.
Definitely,
So,
yeah.
so you don't want to you don't want to risk that front wing or floor damage or anything like that.
The overcut is very strong at this circuit, so this could really help out with whoever overcuts. So here we go. Same thing happening now between Sebastian Vettel and Kevin Magnussen. And this time they make contact. You can see the rear left wheel and the front right wheel touching.
Side by side now down the home stretch.
And Sebastian Vettel is going to be the one with DRS and on the softer compound tire.
But it's going to be Magnussen with DRS on the next race. So if he can just keep it nice and close between the two, he could probably get a move done if he uses some of his battery.
He's going to try and stick behind now. I love that American flag there on the side of the Haas. You can see when they turn right behind the wheel.
Really quiet.
So
Here's
here we go.
Verstappen and Leclerc. Will Leclerc do it this time? No, he won't.
By the way, they can hear you whispering. Yeah, so it's okay though. Max Verstappen still holding the lead. But Leclerc with a fantastic run though.
So Leclerc, can he get a move done on this DRS straight after turn 10?
Very, very close.
He had the run. He's got the DRS. Is it going to be enough? No, it's not. Very close. He's like up on the gearbox of Verstappen, but just not able to make it happen there.
Max probably going to be pitting this lap. Very, very close racing as we head into the DRS zone.
Here we go, down the DRS home stretch. Verstappen's gonna defend.
Here we go, around the outside, Charles Leclerc.
Not gonna be able to make it happen. Maybe side by side still. He's gonna have the DRS as well. Oh, squeezed him too much. Perhaps some dirty driving from Verstappen there.
I don't know, man. That was pretty close racing though. Excited to see some actual racing happening between these two. So here we go now. Five tenths is the gap, and we won't see some battling until probably next lap, because there's no DRS zones other than this one. Let's see Sebastian Vettel on Mick Schumacher, the fellow German. The straight line speed in that Mercedes is not as good as it is in that Ferrari right up ahead. Seems like Sebastian Vettel really lost Kevin Magnussen and blew away from him. So let's see here, final corner. Heading now into the DRS zone. 5 tenths behind. As he's going to be way too far back to go for a move now. That's Alex Albon that they're about a lap, so faster cars now approaching Alex Albon. This could probably screw either Verstappen or Leclerc with this traffic. Yuki Tsunoda getting very close to the back of Valtteri Bottas. So here we go, Max Verstappen still leading this Grand Prix. Has led 21 out of 57 laps of this Grand Prix. 21 out of 21 they have raced. So it's absolute domination here from Verstappen in this early stage of this Grand Prix. Here we go, 4 tenths now behind, 3 tenths, 3.5 tenths, entering 2 tenths and heading into the braking zone. No move there by the Ferrari. Heading up onto Alex Albon. Six tenths is the gap. Just heading into the DRS detection zone. We will get DRS, obviously. So, the other announcer taking a little bit of a break for right now. This is a very long race. Now they're getting much closer to the back of this lap car of the Williams. Now the Ferrari 4 tenths behind and in the braking zone. Let's see, onto this DRS straight. This is going to be very close. 5 tenths starting in the DRS zone. Here we go. Short shifting there by the Ferrari as looks like Sebastian Vettel has gone for a move. We'll check out the replay there. So they went side by side. So it looks like Mick Schumacher defended the inside. And then Sebastian Vettel went around the outside there of Mick Schumacher. Seems like Sebastian Vettel just beat him out there. Just gave him a little bit of a squeeze. Got the inside from the next turn. And got the move done. And no move was done by the Ferrari or Red Bull. But here we go. Oh my gosh, Verstappen with the late defense. Let's go on board the Ferrari there. So it seems like he chose the inside, but then the Ferrari couldn't do much about it, and then Max Verstappen just covered it off anyways. And Verstappen will be staying ahead. Staying ahead once more. As, oh my goodness, a little bit of a lockup. And I believe that was Verstappen going a little bit wide. And Charles Leclerc tried to go down the inside, that one corner. But he couldn't do much about it. And all this battling is really letting Carlos Sainz catch up as it's now 5 seconds. So here we go now. Heading into the final corner of lap 23. Four and a half tenths is the gap, and let's go on board with Charles Leclerc here. He's definitely going to be able to go for a move. And he was only 1/10 behind, but he decided not to go for one. He's going to stay behind Verstappen for another lap. Too far away for another move there on the other DRS zone. These medium runners are going to be pitting in the next couple of laps. So we're going to see some strategy and see what's going to happen here with the strategy being into play. Leclerc uses a little bit of overtake, but can't do much about Verstappen just running away. There you go. Alex Albon slowing down to let Max through. And it seems like he's also going to let Charles Leclerc through, as it's now 7 tenths because of that lapped car, and really benefit Max there. Not seeing much of pack racing anymore, but Sebastian Vettel has now caught up to the back of this McLaren. Lando Norris still hasn't pitted yet, so he still needs to pit, and so does Sebastian Vettel. Mercedes on Mercedes engine. 3 tenths. He won't be able to go for a move though. We're going to catch back up to Verstappen and Leclerc. On lap 25, Verstappen will be now pitting this lap, I believe. It seems like Valtteri Bottas has been passed by Yuki Tsunoda on the DRS straight. No problem at all for that Red Bull engineered car. And Valtteri Bottas couldn't do much about it on those old hards. Sebastian Vettel also got by Lando Norris on the final corner, but Lando Norris will be getting DRS. Here we go, down the inside, as Daniel Ricciardo has now pitted. Sebastian Vettel can't do much about it, but he will get DRS for the next straightaway, trying around the outside, as now he's already been blocked off now by Lando Norris, that will demote him out of points. And no Haas's are in the points anymore as well. So, oh my gosh, there goes Mick Schumacher down the inside, coming out of nowhere. And let's see if there was damage, because it looked like he hit him. He hit the inside of Lando Norris, as no contact was made, but it was very close contact. As he squeezes Lando Norris onto the inside curb, and then let's see here, Lando Norris gets demoted down into P11, and Mick Schumacher gets up one more position. As that is Nicholas Latifi letting by Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. As Alex Albon now getting into the DRS range of Nicholas Latifi's teammate. As that is Sebastian Vettel now pitting. He was on these softs. And it looks like Valtteri Bottas has just gotten out of the pits, it seems. On those cold tires, as now he's in P10, now P11. As he comes out side by side with Lando, but Lando cuts him off there. And so does Kevin Magnussen, getting by as he's on cold tires. Here we go. Charles Leclerc not being able to go for a move here as well. So no moves are being done much in this race. It's all pit stop strategy here. Charles Leclerc though getting very close to the back of Max. Heading down into turn 4, I believe that is. Turn 4 or 5, not sure. Here we go. Charles Leclerc now getting DRS for this next straightaway, as it's a very short straightaway, so he won't be able to do much here on lap 27. As that is now Carlos Sainz trying to get past those lapped cars of the Williams. As that is Kevin Magnussen and Lando Norris going side by side. Let's see who has DRS here. It looks like it's Kevin Magnussen. He's going to easily get by, but Lando Norris checking the outside of Magnussen's car. Won't be able to do much though. Seems like Lance Stroll and Zhou Guanyu have already pitted now, and that's going to let Alex Albon and Nicholas Latifi back up the grid. Not much battling between these two leaders. It's getting a bit, forgot what I was gonna say there, but here we go. Seems like Lando Norris has now got in right outside the points of Kevin Magnussen. Possibly a little bit of wing damage. So here we go. Valtteri Bottas in attack mode on those fresh mediums. Going down the inside as he won't get DRS though on Lando, as he goes a bit deep and Lando goes with the switchback and also DRS. So there goes Valtteri Bottas, left out in the dust. Valtteri Bottas getting a little bit squeezed out. And there goes Pierre Gasly down the inside on both of them. He will get DRS as well, and just absolutely destroyed those guys. They're going side by side. Here we go. Oh my, massive contact between Valtteri Bottas and Lando Norris, but it seems like Charles Leclerc has actually gotten by Max Verstappen, heading down into turn 1. Let's see here, down the inside. Seems like Max will get DRS as well, so almost contact there, and Charles Leclerc squeezes Max Verstappen out. And Charles Leclerc does get DRS, so my fault there. And Max is just going to have to stick behind now. So let's see what the Red Bull can do about that Ferrari getting by here on lap 29. Does get DRS, no ERS though it being used. As it doesn't gain or lose any time, because that Ferrari powered engine is just so quick. As Lando Norris gets by Pierre Gasly, as Pierre Gasly is going slowly. What's going on there? I don't know what's happened there, but seems like he's gonna try and pull it into the pits. As he's going very slow, I don't know what's going on, but he's gonna pull it in the pits, probably retire the car in the pit lane. There's some kind of problem with the engine. As he pulls it in, they switch tires. He does not retire the car, but he is going slowly. I don't know what's happening though to Pierre Gasly. It seems like his car is now fine. So it seems like it just needed to be a little bit of a glitch in the system there of the AlphaTauri. Alex Albon also diving into the pits. So now Charles Leclerc leading this Grand Prix by 8/10 now, as Max Verstappen got passed on lap 28. So lap 38, the other announcer will be coming back. Here we go. Max Verstappen now crawling out of DRS range as his tires are really starting to give out. And now it's officially a second gap. 1.1 seconds now in the DRS activation zone, or detection zone. And his tires are really starting to go off. No grip for him now. He's gonna have to undercut him. As that Ferrari is just absolutely dominating that Red Bull now. All those laps being stuck behind that Red Bull, as he's now getting redemption. We haven't watched these Mercedes much in this race, and there's a reason for that, because they are really not battling with anybody so far. So that's Lance Stroll now going on around the outside of Nicholas Latifi. Tried to get the move done, but Nicholas Latifi keeps the position. The two Canadians fighting it out. As Nicholas Latifi goes wide and onto the curb, and that's going to allow Lance Stroll to get into the mix. So Nicholas Latifi, a little banging wheels with Stroll as Stroll goes out off of the track. And that is not going to be good for Stroll, as that's Sebastian Vettel now going down the inside on Nicholas Latifi. Nicholas Latifi being a bit forced wide, as now he's side by side with Stroll going down the inside of the flat out corner. Massive lock up there by Nicholas Latifi, as Zhou goes a bit wide there, as Sebastian Vettel now getting the position on Latifi. And here comes Valtteri Bottas on Kevin Magnussen, demotes Kevin Magnussen out of the points, and that is Valtteri Bottas officially getting that position. But no, Kevin Magnussen still there. He's going to try the inside now, and now he will get the position. And it seems like Nicholas Latifi actually got the DRS and got past the Aston Martin and still gets DRS there. As that is a Ferrari running away now with the Grand Prix, 2 seconds away from the Red Bull. It seems like they're about to lap Daniel Ricciardo already. So they're about to lap half of the field. They still haven't pitted yet. And they are going to have to pit very soon. Max cannot do anything about the Ferrari running away. Carlos Sainz still 8 seconds away from Max Verstappen. So it seems like Carlos Sainz has the same pace as Max. We're now on lap 33. Charles Leclerc getting by the lapped car, I believe. Or that was someone going by. Here we go, the DRS train of cars, the back markers, as it's going to be Sebastian Vettel trying to go around the outside on Nicholas Latifi, heading down into turn 1. He does it, and that is a position gain there for Sebastian Vettel. And there you go, George Russell now into the pits, as now he's just now coming out of the pits. He boxed for hards starting on mediums, so here we go. Let's check here. Yeah, he was on the medium compound tire. It seems like it was a slow stop, very slow stop there for George Russell. We're gonna go back into real time. I don't know what's going on with our recording device, but yeah, so George Russell pitting now for the hards. He's on cold hards now. See if he can keep his lead here on his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc now catching up to the back marker of Daniel Ricciardo. And that's Lance Stroll and Zhou Guanyu battling it out here. Zhou Guanyu trying the inside, but he got fended off there by Lance Stroll. And that's just going to invite Pierre Gasly now into the party for the battle of 16th. That's Max Verstappen coming out of the pits. And now he's coming out in lap traffic. So that is not good for Max at all, and that's not going to help his undercut strategy here on Charles Leclerc. Cold hards and heading into lap traffic. So there's Pierre Gasly going around the outside here of Zhou Guanyu. And they do have a very close equal performance there. The AlphaTauri and the Alfa Romeo. And it seems like he will get the move done, but that is Max Verstappen going out in lap traffic, and there's Carlos Sainz also. So it seems like that undercut strategy for George Russell actually gained him a lot of time here on Carlos Sainz. And that right there is Charles Leclerc now pitting, and Max Verstappen possibly able to undercut. And that is my dogs barking there in the background. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm gonna just let you guys watch the race without the dogs barking. So Max Verstappen being largely overcut there by Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen not being able to do much about it, and that's Nicholas Latifi actually right in front of Max. Oh, and a little bit of a battling there going on between those two. As Nicholas Latifi going wide, and that gives Max Verstappen a very huge advantage of Charles Leclerc with DRS now. Charles Leclerc with no DRS, but remember that Ferrari powered engine, very good. So yeah, Valtteri Bottas now with Yuki Tsunoda being forced onto the outside curb, and it's going to be Valtteri Bottas with P9 here on lap 35. Here you go, Pierre Gasly now with the DRS on Mercedes-powered engine of the Aston Martin. Can't do much about a move though, as he's not going to be able to make a move. Max Verstappen setting a fastest lap, or on pace to set a fastest lap. And that is Sebastian Vettel letting him by. So Max holds the fastest lap as he set one last time around, and he's looking to improve this lap. That's Pierre Gasly. And Lance Stroll, as Lance Stroll and Pierre Gasly both have DRS. It seems like Lance Stroll tried to go for a switch back there. Can't do much about that though, as now Pierre Gasly setting off to go try and catch up to Nicholas Latifi in P15. That's Nicholas Latifi now trying to defend against Pierre Gasly, as they're going 3 wide down into turn 5 or 4. I forgot which turn that is, but it looks like Nicholas Latifi is going to be demoted 1 position, Lance Stroll staying in the same position, and Pierre Gasly going up 1, and that is Lance Stroll with a massive dive bomb down the inside. And that is a position gain there for Lance. But the two Canadians are still side by side, as will be Lance Stroll with the upper hand. So here we go, Nicholas Latifi getting the DRS here on Lance Stroll. Let's see if it works. Going out around the outside here as he squeezes him down the inside, tries to get him a bad run out of turn 1. And oh my gosh, a spin there from Lance Stroll. And let's see what happened there. Is we're gonna check replay mode, go on board with him. It's going down into turn 1. No contact was made though. I don't think. As let's check Nicholas Latifi's cam. As we're gonna pause it real quick. Check the wing cam. No, he just got way too greedy with the acceleration. And Lance Stroll almost caused a safety car there.
Yeah, pretty bad accident, or pretty bad mistake there for Stroll. That's going to cost his chances at any sort of points, as if he really had any chance. But yeah, not a very good thing for Stroll there. Tough race for him. Tough race for Mercedes-powered cars in general. Only 2 Mercedes-powered cars in the points. And none of them on the podium, which is something we haven't heard in a long time. Here's Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton stuck in P5 behind his teammate George Russell. And you see, I believe that's Zhou that went wide. Yes, it is. Let's go ahead and see what happened there from Zhou's point of view, or Latifi, or Zhou. Yeah, Zhou just went way wide. A lot of understeer there. I think he might hit the brakes a little too late too. He's still in the fight for 16th though. Not where he wants to be, considering his teammate Valtteri Bottas is P9 in the points. But it's his first F1 race. He really can't do much else. Here's Lando Norris.
There's really no battles here. The only battle that we are really seeing here are the back markers and the people that are just barely outside of points here. Kevin Magnussen 3 seconds behind the person with only 1 point, and that's Yuki Tsunoda.
Let's see if he can catch up to Tsunoda here.
It seems like Kevin Magnussen got demoted out of points and Mick Schumacher took his place. With 4 points looking for his name.
Yeah, I have a feeling Schumacher and Magnussen are going to have a pretty good battle between the 2 teammates for this entire season. They're very evenly matched. Skill-wise, I think veteran versus youngster is going to be very fun to watch for these 2. Here's Nicholas Latifi trying to catch up to Pierre Gasly, I believe that is. No, that's not Pierre Gasly. That is someone who lapped him already. Here's Zhou. Guan Yu Zhou.
Nicholas Latifi's trying to stay within DRS range, that way he can really just try and run away from Zhou, who is 6/10 behind in that Ferrari-powered engine. A very strong one, as we saw with that drag race between Max and Charles. Charles Leclerc didn't use any overtake, nothing, and Max was using overtake and DRS, and they still.
We can see Zhou had to cede the position. There's a blue flag was shown to him, so he had to let Lewis Hamilton by. So there goes the battle for 16th. Not like it was really worth any points, but I'm sure Zhou wanted to try and see what he could do against Latifi. Latifi having a pretty good race, considering it's in a Williams. 16th out of the 19 running guys, but he's been consistent all race. But I don't know if it's gonna be enough to keep him from getting replaced by the end of the season. There are lots of rumors that this could be it for him this season. So if he doesn't show any improvement, I think they're gonna throw the towel in on him and
show the door.
Yeah.
As that's Valtteri Bottas and Mick Schumacher, as we finally are seeing some battle within the points, as this is the battle for 4 points, aka 8th position. Here we go, heading now into the DRS zone. Not this turn, but the next one, obviously. Yeah, a bit too high than what I was thinking. Here we go, 3/10 heading into the DRS detection zone. And this right here is most likely going to be a position gain for Valtteri Bottas. Heading down into turn 1. Both Ferrari-powered cars.
The DRS and the slipstream is going to be enough by the looks of it. Side by side into turn 1. There they go. He's going to stay on his left rear, but it has to back out. I'm not sure why. I think Schumacher gave him enough space, but doesn't matter. Bottas has enough DRS, and this time he's got the inside. Schumacher with the outside. Is it gonna? Can he stick the outside. Yes, he can for now. He's got to stick it one more time, and possibly he could have the position side by side as they head down into, I believe, what is turn 9.
It's not over yet, though, because now they can go side by side. No, actually, no, never mind. Because if they would have stayed side by side for one more corner, that would have been a massive collision. Because going side by side through turn 10 is just looking for trouble.
We see Yuki Tsunoda back there kind of poking his nose in there, trying to get some more points as they battle. But I don't think it's going to be enough. No DRS. Schumacher has a DRS on Bottas.
As he's just really playing around with staying between 1 second and staying a little bit outside of 1 second.
If he can just, if he could probably just use some of his battery charge, he could probably stay within the second that he needs and possibly get DRS on the start finish straight.
Yeah, Valtteri Bottas has those fresh medium compound tires, and Mick with those old hards. So that's what really is making Mick bridge a gap between him and Valtteri here.
Yeah, let's see if Magnussen can get up into the points with pit strategy. Tsunoda, I don't think has to pit again, as he's on the hards.
And I don't think, yeah, Magnussen doesn't have to pit either, but there's those two very mean McLarens right behind them.
Yeah, they're looking for that. They want some points. They do not want to start out the season without any points. They do not want a repeat of, you know, the beginning of the V6 turbo hybrid era. Yeah, it seems like they haven't been starting out these new eras too well. I mean, you just look at the V6 turbo hybrid. They did not do well. But they ended up doing well last season, but this season they haven't started out too well. They're not very strong by the looks of it so far. But Lando Norris is a very talented driver, so is Daniel Ricciardo. I'm sure they can adapt to this car at some point and score some points on a consistent basis in the next few weekends.
It's incredible how these McLarens are actually keeping up with this Haas. Haas being upper midfield and McLaren being not that strong with R&D this year.
Yeah, the performance just based on the car just not very good. I mean, you got two great drivers, Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo, struggling to keep up with Kevin Magnussen, who, no offense to him, but he has not raced F1 in a year. So, I mean, Magnussen does have something to prove, so that might kind of push him a little bit, but just, man, I don't know.
The Ferrari kart engine is just really not letting this Mercedes car engines catch up. They only gained 1/10 on that DRS straightaway using overtake and DRS, and Kevin Magnussen didn't have any DRS whatsoever, so yeah, that just shows how strong that Ferrari kart engine is here.
And it seems the Mercedes aren't too strong, like I said earlier. Not a single Mercedes on the podium. There's only 2 Mercedes-powered cars in the points. I mean, last year you had George Russell and a Williams pretty consistently being in the points fight, just dragging that thing. And Vettel every once in a while would get some points. And I mean, McLaren, they switched to Mercedes and they were great. Had a great year last year.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think the Mercedes power unit might be a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, this season is not looking good for that Mercedes engine.
Into turn 12. Norris just trying to keep that gap close on Magnussen and maybe go for a late move as we're coming to only 15 laps to go.
Yeah, I think he's going to cede position here. But you can see the inroads that this Red Bull Junior is making. Yuki Tsunoda used to be 8-9 battling within a second. Like kind of flip-flopping within outside of a second and inside of a second. Now he's only 6/10 behind of Mick Schumacher.
Yeah, Schumacher's tire is definitely not helping him out at all. Very little grip on those old hards. Tsunoda, his hards, I'm not sure how old those are, old or new those are, but I'm sure they're not as old as Schumacher's hards. I think Schumacher started out on the soft compound.
Yeah,
So I
we
mean,
see
he's got to make these tires last. Sonoda beating out Peter Gasly by a pretty big margin, which is something that didn't happen much last year. But so I mean, we can see that Sonoda's really developing as a driver. He could possibly one day take the Red Bull seat when that comes open.
Yeah, and you can see earlier in this Grand Prix, before the pit stops, Lewis Hamilton was around 2 seconds behind his teammate, but now it's 5 tenths, as we will be seeing some battling come the next few laps.
Yeah, Mercedes on Mercedes. We're going to see what the veteran Lewis Hamilton still has in store. I'm sure he's got a lot left in the tank for his career. I don't think this is any sort of indication that his career is coming to an end. I think George Russell is just one of the most talented drivers in the world, and so is Lewis Hamilton, but we're really seeing that talent in George Russell. And he's really proven it as one of the greatest Formula One drivers of all time is struggling to kind of keep up with them. So, yeah, Mercedes have probably one of the best driver pairings in Formula One, just not the strongest car. Here we can see Lando Norris coming in for a quick change of tires. He's going to be on the softs. Let's see if it's worth it.
So is Guan Yu Zhou. I see he's lost a couple positions. Let's see what happened. Because he was battling with Nicholas Latifi.
Oh, he went wide again.
Wide, so seems like Zhou does not like this corner whatsoever, because he just has gone wide, what, like 3 times this race.
Yeah, the rookie definitely struggling with turn 10. I'm not sure if it's locking up or trouble with the brakes. I'm not sure, but yeah. Here's Sonoda trying to catch Schumacher. He's
2 10, so let's see if he can go for a move down the pit straight of MotoGP after that tricky braking zone of turn 10.
Yeah, this is probably going to take some great defending from Mick. If he's going to hold on to P9 for the rest of the race, he's very likely going to get some points at P10. So likely going to finish P10 and get those points, but it's going to take a lot. It's going to be really tough for him. As he's, 6 seconds ahead, 6.5 seconds ahead of his teammate Magnussen. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And who was it that was pitting for those softs? Was that
Lando Norris.
Yeah, Lando Norris. So he is going to be a charging bull after Daniel Ricciardo.
Okay, let's see if he can. I don't think he's gonna get past Sainz again, his former teammate. But yeah, we'll have to see if Norris can catch back up to his new teammate. Well, not so new anymore, but his current teammate Ricciardo, who, like I said earlier at the beginning of the race, he's been struggling ever since he came to McLaren. Yeah, he's had really high expectations. He's one of the best drivers on the grid. Had great sitting at Renault, considering he dragged that thing to a couple podiums when it really should have been down, probably just fighting to get points. So Ricciardo had very high expectations coming into McLaren, and then a very tough year last year. He did win a race, but that was one of the only high points of that season. And McLaren have publicly said that the results have been pretty disappointing for Ricciardo. So let's see if he can turn it around this year. It's not looking great right now, but at least he's beating out his teammate Norris at the moment, as he tries to get past Kevin Magnussen. He's still in the fight for points. Schumacher is falling back. He's got old tires, but I'm not sure I'm not sure Ricciardo's gonna be able to pass Sonoda and Magnussen and get those points, along with the Schumacher dropping back past Ricciardo as well. So it's going to be tough for Ricciardo if he's going to get points, but we'll see what happens. You never know what's going to happen in the world of Formula One.
Let's see, Yuki Tsunoda has actually lost a bit of time here from Mick Schumacher. It seems like his tires are starting to go off a little bit. Yeah, in the closing stages with 10 laps to go.
DRS, not going to be enough though. Let's see if it'll be enough the next straight. If he can just keep a close gap on Schumacher, that's not going to happen though. And turn 2 always just kind of, it really shows how good of a run you got out of turn 1. If you got too good of a run or not enough of a run. We got the two Williams now kind of battling for P16. That's not where they want to be. It's not where any F1 team wants to be.
Yeah. Let's see if Williams can actually bring their development a bit more up. Here we go, DRS for Nicholas Latifi. Let's see if he does something here. Going down the inside, possibly for this turn one.
Down turn one.
Goes around the outside, but it seems like Alex Albon has covered that one off.
Pretty good defense there from Albon.
Yeah.
Especially considering he's been out of F1 for a year.
Let's check back up on this battle for ninth. Mick Schumacher and Valtteri Bottas were battling like not that long ago, but now it's a 5-second gap between those two. And Lewis Hamilton's losing time to his teammate. It's now 8 tenths between him and his teammate.
Yeah, the German just trying to keep in points. He's got 11 laps left to defend from Tsunoda. He's gonna take some great defense, and if he doesn't get it, if he doesn't get that defense, he's still got a 7.5 second gap on Kevin Magnussen. So his chances of getting points are very high, as the gap just keeps on increasing. But it's not going to be easy to defend from Tsunoda. It's going to be extremely difficult for the German to defend from a hard-charging Tsunoda, but who's really he has kind of cooled down though. But we'll just see what happens between these two.
10 laps to go here for these two. Or 9 laps pretty much, because I believe half of the field has been lapped already by Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen, who are just on another level in this Grand Prix. DRS now for Tsunoda. Uses a little bit of overtake to get the better exit. They won't be able to do anything though.
So a half-second gap consistently between Schumacher and Tsunoda. We'll have to keep an eye on that one for sure. Albon tried to defend from his teammate Latifi. Latifi has been at Williams since 2020, so definitely more experience with the team. But the two, this is both for everyone here. This is their first race with the new regs, and the cars are a little more understeery. They use more ground effect and have less downforce, so they definitely, you have to drive them a little bit differently to get the most performance out of them. Oh, big lock up from the German, Schumacher.
Mick Schumacher.
But he's going to keep position.
Cover up Yuki Tsunoda, but here with the DRS, Yuki Tsunoda goes down the inside here.
Defense from Schumacher. Is it going to be enough? Squeezed him a little bit on the outside. Can Schumacher continue to put up a fight against Tsunoda? It looks like he might be able to. Still side by side.
And Tsunoda will get the job done here, it seems.
Yep, he's got it, but
no.
Can
like Mick Schumacher will stay.
He's got the overtake.
Oh, and a little bit of contact. And
oh, Tsunoda! Tsunoda is almost completely around, and contact between him and Sainz, I believe.
And that right there has caused a massive roadblock, and we have a safety car on the last 8 laps of this Grand Prix.
Wow.
Max almost hit him there. You could see. We'll go on a replay of that with who is that? Kevin Magnussen. We'll go on a replay with Kevin Magnussen's view. As we just come up to the corner, Max goes wide and trying to avoid it, and there's massive contact there.
Lots of debris on the track too.
We want both Nick as well, but I want to see what happened there with Mick Schumacher or Yuki Tsunoda. So he gets a bit too much curb, slides out, and that causes a safety car.
Man, that almost got some damage on, I believe that was Charles Leclerc too.
Yeah.
That was almost really bad.
Yeah. And then Alex Albon and Nicholas Latifi battling it out there on turn 1.
It appears there's a safety car though on the track.
Yeah.
So look, this could be interesting.
Yeah, Max Verstappen still has a chance to win this Grand Prix.
It's going to be a race to the finish here for the last 8 laps or so.
Let's see if they pit though for No pitting for Charles, no pitting for Max, but there will be pitting for Sonoda, as Kevin Magnuson will be able to get in the points. And yeah, so Nicholas Latifi apparently overtook Alex Albon before, like right as safety car was called, so Nicholas Latifi had to give that position back. Safety car. And Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, this will come down to the wire with 7 laps left. And 5 laps left of racing when the safety car comes in. And that is Nicholas Latifi boxing for softs. So let's see if it's a good pit stop.
I mean, personally, I like this decision because you're already towards the back of the grid, and Latifi could make up some spots into turn 1. I mean, this is a track where tire grip is very important, so I think this is a good strategy idea for Williams. I think it's going to work out well. I think this could possibly mean a top 15 finish. While it doesn't mean any points, that could still really help out Williams.
Yeah, and here we go. So, safety car will be in on lap 52, and a whole bunch of chaotic order for the safety car. It's like all these lap cars are mixed with front runners. So if you think about it, after the safety car is in, everybody's gonna have to cede position for the front runners. So it's gonna be absolute chaos. And yeah, we'll go on board with Latifi for the in lap of the safety car. Here we go. On board with Latifi, as it's just chaos as they're all letting position for the front runners. There's Lance Stroll letting him by, and Nicholas Latifi takes advantage of that, gets in front of the laps car, or the front runner.
Yeah, that's Esteban Ocon. Let's see if Latifi can kind of get past him on the new softs.
Joe letting all them by. This is just letting Latifi get by so many cars.
Latifi really being aggressive. He gets past Albon almost. Side by side with Albon, I believe. And he goes wide there. And I think that's turn 4. Yeah, turn 4 he goes wide.
Then there's some more cars, more front runners, so more blue flags are still being shown for all the front runners to get by. As we're gonna go with the battle for the lead. 6/10 is the gap. No DRS though. So Ferrari's just going to pull away, I believe. And that's Alex Albon getting a bunch of positions as he's side by side with Sebastian Vettel, and Pierre Gasly going side by side with Daniel Ricciardo.
Oh, and he contact!
Gets contact with Sebastian Vettel, and there's yellow flags back there. But now they're turned to green as there's no incident. No one's spinning, nothing. It was just contact, and Nicholas Latifi now up into P15. And
we look at the standings. Lando Norris is up into the points. McLaren could score points in this race.
Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso, everybody. So it seems like I'm gonna go back on board with those leaders. Charles Leclerc running away with this Grand Prix. Nicholas Latifi getting by Pierre Gasly as they're still side by side. We cannot ignore this battle for the lead with the last 3 laps remaining of this opening Grand Prix of the virtual Formula 1 season. 4 laps to go, because you have to count the last one, obviously. And looks like Guan Yu Zhou and Alex Albon there. And yeah, so that is the end of Nicholas Latifi's charge.
I'm surprised they didn't get any penalties there for disobeying blue flags. They probably could have reasonably thrown. Oh, someone stopped on the track.
Esteban Ocon.
Let's see what happened. Did he spin?
There, as he just went wide. As there's a slow AlphaTauri. I don't know who that is. That looks like it was Yuki Tsunoda, I believe. Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda going very slowly. I don't know what's happened there. Oh, he was letting by the front runners, but it seems like he really screwed out Esteban
Ocon just kind of stopped on the track there. Or I believe that was Fernando Alonso. No, that's Esteban Ocon.
That's Esteban Ocon. And yeah, so Yuki Tsunoda trying to let by those front runners just completely obliterated Esteban Ocon's race. And now he's in P9, and that allows Mick Schumacher to get up and to double his points.
So it looks like Haas is going to get points for the first time since 2020. And yeah, they're a midfield team for the first time since 2018, I think, when they won. They almost won best of the rest. I think they finished P5 in the constructors. This possibly could be a good season for Haas if this is any indication of how it's going to go. I see Schumacher's in P8, 4 whole points for Haas. That seems like a million compared after what they had to go through last season. Absolute painful 2021 season for them.
And Max Verstappen very mad over the team radio. And yeah, so that is very bad for Max Verstappen, as he's gonna probably have to miss out on the win here. But there is still 3 laps to go here. 7/10 is the gap.
Verstappen 7/10 behind. I don't think he's going to be able to get a move done unless he pulls some pace out that he hasn't shown at all this race. Leclerc, though, very good at defending. Let's look at the battle between the 2 Mercedes. Hamilton and Russell. So it looks like no DRS there for Hamilton, but he has slipstream on his teammate Russell. No move, though, is going to be done. 2 laps remaining. So yeah, Hamilton really trying to get past Russell and prove that he is still the top dog there at Mercedes. Russell really proving, though, that his talent is no fluke and that he really can perform in a top car like a Mercedes. As they go down. There is DRS now for Hamilton. See if we can get a move done. Nope. Not quite. Heading out into turn 12. Long right-hander. He's going to lose some time on Russell. Slipstreaming now.
Final lap of this race.
To the final corner. There is DRS for Hamilton heading onto the final lap. So Verstappen with DRS, as he is unable to get a move done, but this is the last lap. I'm sure we'll see something from Verstappen.
Oh, a little bit of wheel spin, and
that's gonna
end his race right there. As George Russell,
he's been overtaken by Hamilton.
And Lewis Hamilton with the move there on the DRS straightaway. Down the inside goes Lewis Hamilton. And it will allow, though, for George Russell to get DRS for this next straightaway. Let's go on board with him.
Let's see what happens here.
Close battling from the Mercedes here. Heading down into turn 5 or 4, I don't know which one. But Lewis Hamilton blocks it off very aggressively.
I think that's a pretty clean defense there from Hamilton. Very experienced 7-time world champion. Russell
and Kevin Magnussen going at it as well. We're going to stay on board with these two attacking.
Can Verstappen get a move done here on the final lap? This is the time to do it. Yeah, looks like a little bit loose. Lost the back end a tiny little bit. He looks like he's losing his rears.
Very mad about his tires over the team radio.
Can he get a move done on Leclerc? It doesn't look like it's very likely at all. I don't think he can.
That is 4-9 Jesus.
Out of the final corner, Charles Leclerc wins the opening race of the 2022 Formula One World Championship. He wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. And the first time Ferrari has won a race, I believe, since 2019. So a great race for them. P2 Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz P3, Hamilton P4, Russell P5, Alonso P6, 7th is Bottas. Then Schumacher gets points for Haas, and then Ocon gets gets P9. Norris does get points by the looks of it for McLaren. Tsunoda just outside the points for AlphaTauri. And then Kevin Magnussen, Nicholas Latifi, a very good finish there for him. And Daniel Ricciardo, P14, Gasly, P15, Vettel, P16.
Let's go! Let's go! Come on! That's exactly how we should start a season. Come on! 1-2, baby! 1-2! Yeah!
There's Charles Leclerc. Mistakenly thought that Sainz was P2 somehow. Thinking they had a 1-2, but yeah. Stroll P17, Albon P18, Zhou P19, and Perez DNF'd. He finishes P20. So that's all for us. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, you guys have a good one.
See you at Australia next week, next Sunday, for the virtual Formula One 2022 season, round 2.